be honest, my journey to IVETA started by accident, if I may call it this. A friend of mine and also a business partner from Spain called me one evening saying, do you know there is a conference in Malaysia? I think it was 2015, or I'm not sure the year. Anyway, she simply sent me something to read about it. And the more I read, the more I realize that actually there are people who are thinking in the way I'm thinking, and they're doing a lot of things and activities that I'm doing, and said, well, this is for me. So I joined, first as an individual member, then the No One Can Association as an organization, or vice versa, I cannot remember. But anyway, I went there and I met a lot of people with the same interests, the same experience as mine. We shared a lot. We thought that we are on one and the same track, and we would like to really to work together to support each other in one and the same direction, and supporting the vet education. So that is how my journey started, and I'm happy to say that it continues. Latest trends are mainly connected to micro-credentials. This is the trend in vet that is a priority for not only for EU member states, but also in Europe, and as far as I can see, in the whole world. And these micro-credentials are not decided how they should look like. And more important is that it is not decided who will recognize the certificates, the diplomas, or whatever document will be given later after these short courses, who will recognize them. The biggest support is by the universities, of course, because their education is 3, 4, 5 years. So they don't want to lose their positions in accrediting, in issuing diplomas and certificates. But at the same time, the business, the employers, cannot wait a person to be educated, to be trained in 2, 3, 4 years for something that may not exist in 2, 3, 4 years. So more or less, this trend will be implied in not only in Europe, but in the world, because we need something and we need it now. And it is more beneficial for the employees and for the employers also to send someone to be taught on something, come back in a week or in a month or in 3 months and perform the job on what he was being taught. So this is the future. This is the future of vet education. I cannot say if it is good or bad. Only the future will show if it is or it was the right approach. But this is the trend. Well, it is also a strange story. I graduated as a chemical engineer in 1990, and I had a really very good contract with one of the biggest chemical factory in Bulgaria. I'm a chemical engineer doing with ICT sector also. But this was the first year after the democratic changes in Bulgaria, and they almost closed the whole chemical industry here in Bulgaria. So my contract expired, and I was not able to even start working as a chemical engineer. So I don't have even a single day working as such, although it was my child dream. Since I was 13 years old, and my first touch with chemistry as a subject at school was a love from first sight. And since then, I was absolutely convinced that I will study chemistry. So can you imagine my disappointment when I fulfilled my dream, graduating with 56 taken exams, with almost an excellent diploma, and at the end, jobless. So I was really very disappointed. and but at the same time, I didn't have time to be disappointed for a long time because I was a mother of 3-month-old baby.
Oh, wow.
So I should have done something to survive. At the same time, my husband also graduated the same university as an engineer in metallurgy, which was also closed. So we were 2 engineers with 3-month-old baby without any job. And I decided to find something that is temporary, just to survive, to earn some money. And I enrolled a course in pedagogy, because at that time teachers were needed, especially teachers who can teach subjects in foreign languages. So I found this opportunity and I enrolled the university, another master, to become a teacher. And enrolling this, I saw that I can also study some psychology at the same time. So I graduated as a teacher. Teacher that can teach chemistry in foreign language and also psychology. So that's how this temporary stuff becomes 17 years. So this is something really very temporary, because at the beginning I was thinking, well, let's work here as a teacher for 3-4 years, just the kids to go to the kindergarten, then say, okay, let's work till she's going to 1st grade. And this temporary was 17 years. Then I decided that it is enough, because some changes in education took place that I didn't like. But I said, well, this is my sphere. And I stayed in education. I created an association, an educational center. So I stayed in education, although in non-formal education. And I'm still working in education, and I hope to retire in this sector. One day, who knows, although I'm not sure that I will be able to retire. Now I really like my job, although it is a hard one. I like it, and I'm doing my best to educate people and to share what I know. I really like sharing and mentoring and exchanging different ideas. So I have this opportunity working on European funded projects in the sphere of education. So this is something that I really love. The biggest challenge is to convince students that education is still a great treasure. It is something that I really fight for, because they said, okay, you have studied so much, so many years, so what? You're not rich. I want to be rich. I said, no, I'm really very rich. But for them, they consider richness with money. This is actually the biggest challenge. And also, it's the parents are not very supportive when it concerns education. They simply want their kids to study something that will they will get benefits of it, but not benefits in improving personally and professionally, but improving their material state. So, okay, my son or my daughter will study ICT studies because this is a trend. And when I say, okay, but he is not such kind of person, he's an artistic one, he has a great talent for this. No, he will not become this. So there are a lot of cases in my work of complete disappointment, of choosing the wrong career path, of choosing the wrong way of living. So if you are not satisfied with your work, of course you cannot be happy, for sure. But also, it is not paid attention on career guidance, which is very, very, very important at school age, to be is career guidance, and to be clear that not all of them will have an academic career, and it is not necessary, but he will be an amazing carpenter, for example. Why to go and study something that he doesn't like and he will never like? Well, I love reading, but to be honest, I have really very, very little time for reading. I like reading everything, not only books that are connected to my professional development, but also any kind of books. And I'm very old-fashioned. I like paper books. Although when I'm traveling, I take my Kindle with me. But I really like the sound of the paper, the turning of the pages, the holding of this book. So I like it. And my favorite book is Winnie the Pooh. This book I can read all the time. And at least once or twice per year, I read it and overread it. So there is a lot of wisdom in this book. And I really like this simple wisdom and the way the things are presented there. And for me, it is not a book for kids. And another way that I relax, I'm embroidering. I like tapestry. Yes, I have a lot, but I don't make a collection of them. I like simply the way of relaxing and the way of the tapestry itself, the embroidering as an activity. So when I finish something, I make it a gift to a friend or to someone who liked it. So, but this is the only way I can relax. And people who know me personally cannot imagine that I can sit with hours doing this. Because I'm really very, very active all the time on a move. But doing this, I can sit for hours. What I also advise the students I work with is never to give up. And that even a disaster can happen to them, but in every cloud there is a silver lining. Yes, I'm a fan of rock music. I like the sounding. For example, Scorpions is my favorite band. Deep Purple I like a lot. Also this old-fashioned styles, but I also like a lot Lara Fabian, Sarah Brightman, I listen. So this is absolutely different kind of music, but I like that. I can listen to almost all kinds of music. I adore ice cream.
Really? What flavor?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I can live on ice cream, and it is not a matter of season. So sometimes, and I also like criminal movies a lot. But this kind of movies that it is not evident from the very beginning who did what, but this kind of movies that make you think and develop by your own what could happen.